We are joined now by Congressman Steve Scalise. He has been through a lot, and we're going to run through all of the things coming up with a big turning point event that he's going to be a part of shortly. But Congressman, I want to start with we haven't had you on since the Charlie Kirk shooting, but you've been a victim of political violence. You almost lost your life while you were preparing for, I believe it was the baseball game, but just practicing with other members of your team. What did you think when you saw the Charlie Kirk video, and how much of it created flashbacks for you of what happened to you about 8 years ago?
Hey, Clay and Buck, thank you for having me. It was such a tough day. I mean, my gosh, just to see somebody, at the time we didn't know Charlie was dead, but you could just see it was something bad happened to Charlie, and that alone was just unearthing. I mean, alarming, and it makes you angry to see that somebody as talented as Charlie was out there just talking to people. I mean, encouraging people to debate in a civil way, which is what we all should be celebrating, and to the idea that somebody thinks they can just take away a life because they disagree with you politically is insane. And so I had a lot of anger. I had, just a lot of feelings. You feel for Charlie personally, for his family. I mean, he's got a young family, and I'm thinking all those things. And then obviously along the way, some of the, thoughts go back to 2017 and the shooting, with me and my other colleagues. I mean, we had a crazed shooter that went and he wanted to kill every Republican on that ball field. And this idea that you've got these people that think you can solve, your political differences with violence it's against everything America stands for. And it was just a horrible day in a lot of ways.
We're talking with Steve Scalise. He is the House Majority Leader, and he's in Louisiana's 1st Congressional District. I'll get into what in the world's happened to LSU's offense with you in a moment, Congressman.
Yes.
But you've got a big turning point event that you are a part of. What's going on there? What should people know about it? And what is the importance of this event in the wake of, as we were just talking about, what happened to Charlie?
Well, I think something just remarkable has come out of a horrible situation, and that is that it really is awoken people to say, wait a minute, we are not going to live in fear. We're not going to allow a voice like Charlie's to have this movement that Charlie created just end. And in fact, I think the movement is going to grow even stronger. You've seen Erica, his widow, just powerfully talk about how she's going to grow it into something even bigger. And it's really happening. I mean, we've seen 50,000+ young people have said, I want to start a Turning Point chapter on my college campus or high school campus where it doesn't yet exist. And we've seen a lot of Turning Point chapters. LSU, where I went to school, we've got a Turning Point chapter, and Charlie was going to be speaking in just a few days to that campus chapter. And the event will now go on. Our governor, Jeff Landry, is going to be highlighting it. And, it's the old saying, the show must go on. And I think you're going to see a lot more people, including people maybe that never even knew what Turning Point was about, who now have seen it. They've gone back and looked at Charlie's speeches, and he's inspired a whole new generation of people. So this idea they were going to silence him is truly backfired. I mean, I think you've seen the movement already grow stronger, and young people will not be silenced. Young people, look, they're sick and tired of these leftists telling them what to do and how to think, and you've got to hate institutions and religion. It's also brought a new awakening in religion. People going to church for the first time and understanding. And Charlie had such a deep faith in God, as do I. People now, I think, are maybe getting back in touch with God too, and that's a good thing.
You mentioned the impact that Charlie's having. I interviewed Paul Feinbaum. I know you're a college football fan, as was Charlie. And Paul told me he's thinking about running for the Senate in Alabama as partly a result of what he saw happen to Charlie Kirk. It left him shaken, and he wanted to think about what he could do to be the most impactful in his life. I think that you are hearing, as you mentioned, a lot of people from all walks of life, regardless of what their background is, sitting around and thinking, how can I embody the courage that Charlie showed, that you showed after you were shot, to help take the country to a better place?
Well, it's so true. And, I saw Paul's statements, and I think you're going to see a lot more things like that. More people that maybe were on the sidelines, or, maybe if you're in media, they might have been scared to speak out because, the culture in media is so far to the left.
Oh, yeah.
And they're worried about cancel culture. I don't think people are going to be worried about that cancel culture anymore. I think it's reversing the other way, where it's, the pendulums do swing in life and in politics. And I think people are disgusted by this idea that, radical leftists can just shut you up if they don't agree with your point of view. They were trying to do it in social media. Those days are over. And I think the days of trying to shut people up or only presenting one point of view in mainstream media are over too. Few people are watching some of those shows anyway that do that. But I think the rest of the public wants free speech, embraces free speech, and realizes how much it's threatened by the left. The left, ironically, are the ones who seem to want to shut down free speech, and we're not going to let it happen.
We're talking to Steve Scalise, congressman from Louisiana. What should we know succinctly? We talked with Senator Mark Wayne Mullen earlier this hour, but from your perspective, what should our listeners know about the potential shutdown that would start tomorrow?
Well, we passed a bill through the House 2 weeks ago to keep government funding at current levels. And you're seeing Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries, the far left fringes that want a government shutdown, not for any particular reason, but just they don't like the results of the election last November. And they're far left based. The radicals in the Democrat Party just want to fight with Donald Trump. And a temper tantrum is not an excuse to shut down the government and disrupt the lives of millions of people. Think about it. Our men and women in uniform will not get paid. TSA agents won't get paid. Federal parks are shut down. A lot of bad things happen in people's lives that get disrupted just because Chuck Schumer wants to have some kind of bar fight with Donald Trump because he doesn't like the results of the election in November. Think about this. Democrats and Republicans voted for these very same funding levels in March. Nothing's changed since March, except the far left elements that are about to elect a Marxist in New York City are also clamoring for a government shutdown. And ultimately, it's going to be up to Democrats in Congress. Are they going to feed the craziest voices on the left? Are they going to do the right thing? And the right thing is keep the government funded. This isn't a permanent solution, but at least for 7 weeks, short term, while we negotiate our differences. Clearly, we have differences, but you don't have a tantrum and disrupt the lives of millions of people during that difference to negotiation. Let's keep government funded at its current levels. The bill's in the Senate, so it's all on Schumer right now. If there's a government shutdown, it's only because Schumer decided to cave to the far left elements of his radical base and disrupt the lives of millions of people. I hope he doesn't do it. And there's a chance that cooler heads will prevail. But right now, Schumer's looking for a shutdown, and we'll see where it goes come tomorrow.
All right. Right now, the biggest story in the state of Louisiana is not government shutdowns. It is the Tiger offense. So we got a lot of people listening all over the country, but for people who don't know, LSU couldn't stop anybody on defense last year. This year, the offense has vanished. Our buddy Lane Kiffin, I think he's been on the program up at Ole Miss celebrating. A lot of Rebels fans, big rivalry there. Really enjoyed the win. Congressman, you got to solve everything in the world right now. Solve what's going on with your LSU Tigers. What do they need? What's wrong?
Well, give me about another $10 million in NIL money. We can solve it. But no, look, I was in Oxford, Mississippi, and it was tough. It was tough I'm an LSU alum. I love my Tigers, and we're going to bounce back. But, we've been having some offensive problems the last few weeks, and Garrett Nussmeier is a great quarterback. You could see his numbers from last year. He did have an injury at the beginning of this year. Not sure he's completely through that yet. Once you see him 100%, I think you'll see this team bounce back. We got some tough teams ahead. We still go to Alabama. We have A&M coming in. We go to Vanderbilt, who's undefeated. We've still got some tough games to prove ourselves. And I believe in Coach Kelly. I think they're going to bounce back. Our defense is much better. It's the SEC. I mean, we just lost to the number 4 team in the nation, so let's not pull the panic button. But let's get better. We can, and we have the capability with a great quarterback to do it.
The Grove is a spectacular place to go tailgate, watch a college football game. I'm fortunate to have been to a bunch of games there. LSU on a Saturday night is about as good as it gets. For people who have never been and may never go to an LSU Saturday night football game, what should they know about what the experience is like?
Well, first of all, don't deprive yourself of that treat of being in Tiger Stadium at some point on a Saturday night in your life. I mean, it's a box everybody needs to check. The tailgating alone, you got to go up there early. I mean, just for the food experience, everybody knows what New Orleans food is like, some of the best food in the world. You have better Cajun chefs at some of the tailgates before the game at an LSU game than you'll get at some of the finest restaurants in New Orleans. It's world class. They take it seriously. And then the game itself, 103,000, incredibly screaming loud fans. You get Garth Brooks playing Call in Baton Rouge on the speakers, and man, the crowd goes nuts. It's a scene like no other on a Saturday night in Tiger Stadium. You got to come. I'll be there, and I think we'll have to get everybody to check that box on their dance card to come to do that one time in their life at least.
No, I've been. It's an amazing time. Congressman, we appreciate the time. Always happy to have you on. Good luck with that Turning Point event, and good luck with LSU figuring out what's going on with the offense.
Hey, go Tigers, and God bless. Let's keep getting this country back on track.
Amen. That is Congressman Steve Scalise, as you heard, running through all of the challenges right now on Capitol Hill, and also, much less significantly, the challenges for the LSU Tiger offense. Speaking of sports, you guys know I love it, and I love this company. I was in Athens, Georgia over the weekend, and I was hanging out with the founder. Adam built a great company. He's a University of Georgia grad, lived in Athens, grew up in the Atlanta area. Best place out there to have some fun with sports, Prize Picks. Right now, hey, Major League Baseball playoffs underway. Really looking forward to seeing how the Mets do. Sorry, Mets fans. I couldn't resist. You spent a lot of money. You didn't even make the playoffs. But there are a lot of teams in the Major League Baseball playoffs. We are underway right now. So if baseball is your favorite sport, if football is your favorite sport, which it is for me, college or pro, I'll give you picks on Thursday. We have hit 3 out of the first 4 weeks. You can play in California. You can play in Texas. You can play in Georgia. Get hooked up right now with Prize Picks. Use my name, Clay, and when you play $5, you get back $50. That's code Clay on Prize Picks. It is lots of fun. It's easy to use. Go ahead and download the app. Use my name, Clay. Play $5, you get $50 in there, and you'll be ready on Thursday. May even tell you guys, hey, pull out your phones. Here's how you play, more or less. It's super easy to use, but go ahead and download the app. Let's see if we can win some more with Prize Picks. Go to prizepicks.com. Use code CLAY. That's my name, CLAY, for $50 when you play $5.